These are the 7 boring and unglamorous things that I'm actually doing on purpose as a single mom of 2, rebuilding my entire life and starting over from scratch at 35. None of them are exciting and none of them are the kind of thing that looks good in a highlight reel. But every single one of them is working, and I think that's why nobody talks about them. 2 years ago, I lost my 12-year marriage, and with it, most of my financial stability and income I thought I had built for good. I spent almost a year at my parents' house afterward, trying to just function and heal. And when I finally started rebuilding for real, I realized that rebuilding wasn't going to just be one big dramatic decision. It was going to be small, several, and glamorous ones, repeated until they became who I am, instead of just something I was trying. The first one is what I stopped buying. I cancelled my Apple Music subscription. I cancelled my YouTube Premium. I still haven't cancelled Netflix yet because, if I'm being fully honest, after a whole day of operating at full mental capacity, trying to figure out, to strategize and rebuild and manage 2 kids and a business alone, watching my favorite K-drama genuinely is the only thing that gives my brain some permission to just switch off. But even that one is on notice. What I've kept instead are the subscriptions that are actually helping me build something, like Canva on my old annual plan that I'm not giving up yet, Instagram verification because it just helps to protect the community that have already spent years building on Instagram, ChatGPT because it has genuinely become something like a strategy partner for my business. And the same discipline is applying to groceries now. I do not restock the entire fridge every week just so that we have a full fridge. I am only shopping when we actually need something, not just on a schedule built around comfort of never running out low. That one sounds very small, but it isn't, because every coin now has to justify itself, and I have a completely different relationship with money than the one that I had before. And the second thing is who I am cutting off, both friends and family. If they were a consistent drain on the very limited energy that I had left to rebuild my life, I have blocked people everywhere. Not because I hated them, but because I genuinely cannot afford the tax of maintaining relationships that are costing more than they are giving me. Not in this season. And I remember the exact moment that I understood this wasn't optional at all. I had gotten off a very draining phone call with someone who always left me more depleted than before we even spoke. And I had a client deliverable due that same evening that I simply did not have anything left to give. I sat there and realized for the first time that I had been treating my energy like it was an infinite resource that other people were entitled to first, and only whatever was left over belonged to the actual rebuild. There's real research behind why that math never worked out. Psychologists talk about self-regulation as a genuinely limited resource, not an unlimited one. The same way a muscle gets tired from overuse. Every hard conversation, every draining relationship, every person who costs you more than they give spends from the exact same tank you need for the harder work of rebuilding a life. So protecting your energy was never a soft Instagram caption idea. It's closer to budgeting. You only get much of it in a day, and every person who overdraws that account is one more thing that you can't actually afford right now, no matter how long you've known them. And number 3, that thing is I started meal prepping. Simple, boring, repetitive meals for me and my kids, instead of just cooking from scratch every single day. This isn't about being a domestic goddess. It is actually the opposite. It's me refusing to let decision fatigue eat the hours of the day that I need for everything else. I'm rebuilding. Every decision you don't have to make twice is energy you get to spend elsewhere that actually matters. And number 4, this is the one that took the most discipline, intentional alone time every single day, no exception. 1 hour before I wake my kids up for school runs and 2 hours after they have gone to bed. That time is for skipping rope, meditation, Bible study, and prayer. Not because it's productive in any measurable way, but because it's the only part of the day that actually belongs entirely to me. And after years of belonging to everyone else first, that ownership is non-negotiable now. And number 5, walking 10,000 steps every single day and skipping rope for at least 5 minutes on top of that. This one isn't really about fitness for me. If I'm being honest, it's actually about proof, because every day I do it is one more piece of evidence that I'm actually someone who follows through on what she says she will do, even when nobody's checking or celebrating or congratulating me, and even when it would be easy to skip it. And 6, I am cutting off sugar, wheat, milk, completely for 21 days straight. I want to be clear, this isn't forever. And honestly, I was never a sweet tooth or a bread person to begin with. And those are things I could simply just stay without. But during that 1 year at my parents' house after my marriage fell apart, I slowly rebuilt a habit that I hadn't had in years: sugary milk tea, bread, and the small comforts that got me through the worst of it. And for a long time, I assumed that was just a coincidence, that I had simply gotten a taste for it again. But I went looking for an explanation because it bothered me so much that the exact habit that I had let go of years earlier just came back at the exact moment my life fell apart. And as it turns out, it was not a coincidence at all. There is actual research on how stress pushes us back towards old automatic habits, specifically even ones that we had thought we had already outgrown for years, because habitual behavior takes far less mental effort than making a fresh decision. And stress is exactly when your brain has the least effort to spare. So the milk, tea, and bread for me were never really about the taste at all. They were my brain taking the cheapest available exit during the hardest season of my life. They served their purpose then. They are not serving me right now. So I am doing 21 days without them on purpose, not just because they are inherently bad, just to prove the point that the habit doesn't get to make that decision for me anymore. And the seventh thing is recording videos every single day, whether they are for posting or not. Some days it's real content that I post. Some days it's just me talking to a camera, thinking out loud, practicing being seen. Because camera presence isn't something that shows up naturally or on the day that you feel ready. It's something that you build the same exact way that you would build anything else in this list, by doing the same rep every single day, even when it's clumsy, and especially when it's clumsy. Here's what I've actually noticed when I laid down these 7 things next to each other. None of them was really about the thing that it looks like on the surface. The subscriptions were never about money at all. The blocking was never about pettiness. The steps were never about even fitness. Every single one of them is the same instruction repeated in 7 different disguises, just to prove to myself in some small and glamorous way every single day that I am someone who follows through. That's the whole rebuild, honestly. Not one dramatic decision, just 7 boring ones on repeat until I become the person that I am actually going to be. And for you as well, if you've got a list like this one too, even a messy one, even one that you've never said out loud, I don't think that makes you rigid or extreme in any way. And please share it in the comments. I would love to see it, and steal a few of your ideas as well, because I think having one means that you already know what rebuilding actually costs, and you are paying it anyway. I'll see you in the next video.